If you are over 60, or even just starting to notice that names, faces, or numbers slip away faster than before, stop everything for the next few minutes. Because what I'm about to share can literally rewire your brain to remember almost anything, no matter your age. Most people believe memory loss is inevitable, that after 70 your brain simply shrinks, your neurons die, and there's nothing you can do. But that is a lie created by ignorance, and I will prove it to you. Your memory doesn't fade because you're old. It fades because you've stopped training it. Just like a muscle that's never moved, your hippocampus becomes weaker when you stop giving it challenges, oxygen, and the right fuel. And the good news? It can recover fast. In today's video, I'll show you how to force your brain to remember names, facts, skills, even things you learned decades ago. We'll uncover the Japanese doctor's secret method that helps seniors rebuild brain pathways in less than 3 weeks. We'll reveal which healthy foods actually destroy memory cells, and the 5-minute ritual that wakes up your sleeping neurons every morning. So sit down, breathe deeply, and get ready. Because after this, you'll never think of aging the same way again. Let's begin. Many people reach their 70s and think the brain has given up on them. They look for their glasses while wearing them. They forget why they entered a room. They laugh it off. But inside, there is a quiet fear. What if this is the beginning of the end? What if the mind that once held so much wisdom is now slowly dissolving? But what they never realize is that the brain never truly forgets. It simply hides what it doesn't use. Think of your memory like a vast library. The books are still there, but the lights have been turned off. The pathways leading to the shelves are covered in dust, and every time you say, "I'm getting old," you turn off one more light inside that library. Today, we are going to turn those lights back on, because memory is not a gift you lose with age. It is a skill you can reclaim. Modern neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rebuild connections, to rewire, to adapt even after 70, 80, or 90 years of life. You can literally grow new neural branches as long as you are alive. But it will not happen automatically. You have to command it. You have to force it to awaken. The brain listens to activity. What you do daily becomes its new programming. If you constantly repeat, "I can't remember," your neurons obey. But if you feed it challenge, curiosity, and pattern, it starts to fight back. There is a Japanese proverb that says, "The brain is a sword. If you don't sharpen it, it will rust." And rust is what most people mistake for aging. The real cause of memory loss isn't the years you've lived. It's the habits you've built. The late-night scrolling that steals your REM sleep, the sugar spikes that inflame your blood vessels, the hours of sitting that starve your hippocampus of oxygen, the stress that bathes your neurons in cortisol, drowning their ability to communicate. Each one of these is a silent killer of memory, and together they build the illusion that your mind is fading away. But here's the truth. Even at 70, your brain is begging for stimulation. It wants novelty. It craves oxygen. It thrives on rhythm and purpose. When you give it those, it rewards you with clarity, with sharp recall, with peace. Let's start by uncovering what silently destroys memory and then learn how to reverse it. First, sleep. Most people underestimate what happens when they close their eyes. During deep sleep, the brain replays every memory of the day, deciding what to keep and what to discard. It's like an internal librarian sorting through your shelves. But when you deprive it of sleep, that librarian goes home early, goes home. The shelves stay messy. Memories never get filed. Within a week of poor sleep, your recall can drop by 40%. So if you wake up foggy, forget names, or lose focus, look not at your age. Look at your sleep. The second destroyer is sugar. Sugar causes inflammation in the smallest vessels of the brain. When those capillaries are clogged, the hippocampus suffocates. You can feel it as mental tiredness, but in reality it's your neurons gasping for air. Replace sugar with fruits rich in antioxidants. Blueberries, walnuts, and green tea are the medicine of memory. The third destroyer is stress, the modern poison. Your body was never designed to be alert all day. When cortisol stays high for too long, it kills the dendrites that connect your thoughts together. You forget because your neurons are being scorched by your own hormones. To heal, you must create moments of stillness. 10 minutes of deep breathing can do more for your brain than hours of scrolling. The fourth destroyer is inactivity. When you stop moving, blood flow to the brain decreases. Movement isn't just for your body, it's for your mind. A 30-minute walk increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, the fertilizer of neurons. And finally, the fifth destroyer, boredom. When your life becomes predictable, your brain powers down. Routine kills curiosity, and curiosity is the spark of learning. You must constantly expose yourself to new stimuli, new skills, languages, instruments, stories. Even at 70, learning one new song can create thousands of new neural connections. This is how you begin to fight back. Now let's move from destroyers to builders. The 5 forces that rebuild memory. The first force is oxygen. Every deep breath you take is like turning on a power generator inside your skull. Practice breathing in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 2, and exhale for 6. Do this 3 times before you read or study, and you will feel your focus sharpen like a lens. The second force is nutrition. Your brain is 80% water and 10% fat. It thrives on omega-3s, hydration, and minerals. Fish, avocados, dark chocolate, and leafy greens are not trends. They are brain architecture. The third force is movement. Every step you take shakes loose new molecules of growth. Dancing, walking, gardening, each of them sends rhythm to your brain. The fourth force is purpose. Your brain organizes information around what matters. When you give it a reason, it stores memory with emotion. That's why you remember your wedding day but forget yesterday's breakfast. Give every new thing you learn a why, and it will stay. The fifth force is challenge. This is the secret ingredient. You must put your brain under pressure to make it grow. Do puzzles, memorize poetry, play memory games, force yourself to recall instead of reread. Each time you struggle, you are literally strengthening the neural wiring of recall. This is what we call retrieval practice, and it is scientifically proven to rebuild memory in aging adults faster than any supplement. But to truly force your brain to remember, you must go beyond passive learning. You must move from input to retrieval. Reading and listening are like pouring water into a bucket with holes. But when you close the book, look away, and try to recall what you just learned, you begin to seal those holes. That is when the brain says, "This matters." The act of remembering is more powerful than the act of studying. When you recall, you rebuild the pathway. When you test yourself, you reinforce it. Every recall is a tiny workout for your neurons, and the soreness you feel is growth. This is the same way a child learns language, and yet adults forget it. We chase information instead of mastering it, but the brain does not respect how much you read. It respects how much you recall. Try this. Before you sleep tonight, recall 3 things you did today without looking at your phone. Where were you at 10 a.m.? What did you eat for lunch? Who did you talk to last? It sounds simple, but each time you do it, your memory muscles tighten. Within a week, you will notice sharper awareness, fewer blanks, stronger focus. This is how you rebuild the reflex of recall. Another powerful method is called the method of Lotzi, the memory palace. It is an ancient technique that monks, philosophers, and even modern champions use to memorize books, speeches, and faces. You imagine a familiar place, your home, your favorite street, and assign pieces of information to each spot along the path. When you need to remember, you walk that path in your mind, and the memory returns with clarity. Why does it work? Because your brain loves space. It evolved to remember locations, movement, and emotion, not abstract words. When you attach memory to physical imagery, you hack the ancient wiring of the hippocampus. Try this tomorrow. Pick 5 objects in your living room: a chair, a plant, a lamp, a photo, and a window. Assign 5 names or facts you want to remember to each of them. Then close your eyes and walk through that room in your imagination. You'll be shocked how easily the information sticks. Your mind was never weak. It was simply underused. The next step is to combine physical activity with memory. Move while you learn. Walk as you recite. Gesture as you repeat. Studies show that combining movement with memory increases recall by 30 to 50%. This is why traditional Japanese education used recitation with rhythm, or why monks walked in circles while memorizing scriptures. Movement anchors thought. The rhythm of your steps becomes the rhythm of memory. But there is another deeper layer: emotion. Memory lives where emotion breathes. If something makes you feel, it stays. If it doesn't, it fades. That's why the smell of rain can bring back your childhood, or why a song can resurrect an entire decade of your life. So when you learn something new, connect it to a feeling. If it's a fact about history, imagine the lives of people who lived it. If it's a language, speak it as if it carries your story. The brain doesn't care about data, it cares about meaning. Meaning is the glue of memory. And perhaps the most beautiful truth of all is this: every time you form a new memory, your brain rewires its structure. New dendrites branch out, old ones reconnect, and the electrical symphony inside your skull changes forever. You are literally sculpting your brain with every thought. So stop saying, "I have a bad memory." Say instead, "I am rebuilding it." Because you are. And every time you push yourself to recall, breathe deeply, move intentionally, and connect emotionally, you're forcing your brain to grow younger. Now let's talk about the rituals. Small, simple habits that can reverse years of neglect. The first ritual is the morning reactivation. Within 10 minutes of waking up, recall what you learned the previous day. Don't scroll, don't read, just sit, close your eyes, and bring back one piece of knowledge. It could be a name, a number, or a story. The act of morning recall doubles your retention. The second ritual is the afternoon refocus. Every 4 hours, take 1 minute to breathe deeply through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and name 3 things around you. This grounds your attention in the present moment, teaching your brain to stay alert. The third ritual is the evening reflection. Before bed, review your day backwards. Start from now and trace back each moment to the morning. This trains your hippocampus to organize memory in sequence, like cleaning your mental desk before sleep. If you do these 3 rituals daily, you will notice a remarkable shift. Your thoughts become clearer, your recall faster, your mood calmer. Your brain will start to serve you again. But there's one more secret layer: the nutritional code of memory. The nutritional code of memory is not about supplements or miracle pills. It begins with blood flow. The clearer your blood, the clearer your thoughts. Foods high in processed sugar, refined oils, and artificial additives cloud the bloodstream and slow oxygen delivery to the brain. But when you eat clean, your neurons shine. The Mediterranean style of eating, olive oil, fish, nuts, greens, and berries, is not a diet, it's brain maintenance. Every bite either builds or breaks your memory. A single meal high in trans fat can reduce communication between brain cells for hours, but one serving of salmon or walnuts can increase synaptic flexibility for days. Water is the silent enhancer. Even mild dehydration shrinks brain tissue and reduces concentration. So drink not for thirst, but for clarity. Green tea, matcha, and herbal infusions deliver antioxidants that protect the brain from oxidative stress, the invisible rust of aging. The next element is sunlight. Vitamin D is not just for bones, it regulates genes that manage brain growth and mood. 10 minutes of morning sunlight can change your entire day's mental sharpness. And then, there is magnesium, the forgotten mineral. Without it, neurons cannot transmit signals effectively. It's in spinach, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and dark chocolate. These are not snacks. They are the alphabet of memory. But beyond nutrition and movement, there is a spiritual dimension to remembering. You remember what you respect. Modern life floods your mind with information but starves it of meaning. We scroll endlessly, consume passively, and expect the brain to sort chaos. But the brain was never built for chaos. It was built for rhythm, ritual, and purpose. When you live in alignment with your values, your memory strengthens. When your days are random, your recall weakens. So create structure. Wake up at the same hour. Eat mindfully. Review your day with gratitude. Each repetition tells your brain, this matters. The hippocampus responds to repetition like a loyal servant. The more consistent your signals, the stronger it works for you. Now let's go deeper into how to force your brain to remember anything, even things you think you've forgotten forever. The first principle is emotion. When you study something with curiosity or joy, the amygdala tags it as valuable and locks it for long-term storage. When you study with boredom or fear, the brain ignores it. That's why students remember games better than lectures. So inject emotion into everything you want to remember. The second principle is novelty. If you study in the same chair, under the same light, at the same time every day, your brain dulls. Change your environment. Learn in the park, in the kitchen, in the garden. Each setting creates a different memory anchor. The third principle is visualization. Your brain is visual, not verbal. It remembers pictures, not paragraphs. When you hear apple, you see a fruit, not the letters A-P-P-L-E. So whenever you learn something new, turn it into an image. The stranger, the better. If you want to remember a phone number, imagine it carved into stone. If you want to remember someone's name, link it to a feature on their face. The fourth principle is storytelling. Information without context fades, but a story stays. This is why myths outlive data. Turn what you learn into stories with emotion and consequence. The fifth principle is repetition, but not just any repetition, spaced repetition. Review after 1 hour, then 1 day, then 1 week, then 1 month. Each review digs the memory deeper into your neural soil. Miss one and it begins to fade. Keep the rhythm and it becomes permanent. These 5 principles form the method of forced remembrance. Apply them daily and your memory will obey you. Yet the final and most overlooked factor is rest. The modern brain is overstimulated. Even when you rest, you scroll. Even when you walk, you check. The brain never gets silence, but silence is where memory consolidates. It's in moments of stillness that your neurons whisper to each other, replaying the day's events and strengthening their bonds. Create silence. Walk without music. Sit without talking. Breathe without distraction. Let your mind wander. It is not laziness, it is maintenance. In that quiet, the mind repairs itself. When you begin to live like this, eating for clarity, moving for oxygen, recalling for strength, resting for restoration, something incredible happens. The fog lifts, the forgetfulness fades, You begin to trust your mind again. And that is when you realize aging never stole your memory. Neglect did. And now, you are taking it back. But let's not stop here. You now know the theory, the science, and the habits. Let's transform them into a daily system. A 30-day reprogramming plan designed to force your brain to remember everything that matters. Here is how to begin your transformation. Day 1 today. 7. Focus on awareness. Each morning recall 3 events from the day before. At noon, breathe deeply and ground yourself by naming 5 things you can see and hear. Before bed, review your day backwards. This week is about activating your brain's recall system and rebuilding the habit of conscious memory. Day 8 to day 14. Add movement and emotion. Start walking as you recite what you want to remember. Speak out loud. Add gestures. When you study or reflect, do it with curiosity and feeling. Learn one new skill, a recipe, a word, a phrase in another language. Give it meaning. Your neurons will respond with new growth. Day 15 to day 21. Create your memory palace. Choose one room in your home and assign memory anchors to each part. The door, the window, the table. Link each anchor to a name, number, or idea you want to store. Practice walking this space in your mind once a day. You are training your spatial memory, the strongest memory system humans possess. Day 22 to day 28. Train retrieval. Choose one subject, history, poetry, family birthdays, and try to recall it from scratch. Don't look it up. Struggle, recall, rest, then try again. This pressure strengthens the bridge between your short and long-term memory. Use spaced repetition. Review after 1 hour, then again tomorrow. Day 29 and day 30, integrate. Live your final 2 days with full attention. Walk with presence. Eat with intention. Speak with purpose. Throughout the day, ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And what can I remember from this moment? Write down your answers each night. These 2 days will tie everything together. After 30 days, you will not only feel more alert, you will trust yourself again. Your memory will no longer feel like a failing tool, but a powerful companion. And as the weeks pass, your mind will sharpen further. You will remember names. You will recall facts. You will navigate the past and the present with calm confidence. This is not a miracle. This is biology obeying attention. And this is just the beginning. Because the greatest gift of memory is not just to remember data, but to reclaim identity. Who you are is what you remember. And when you heal your memory, you rebuild the self. You remember your strength. You remember your dreams. You remember how to love deeper and live fully. So if no one told you today, your brain is still listening. It is still changing. It is still waiting for your command. Speak to it with care. Feed it with truth. Train it with rhythm. And it will become your greatest ally again. This is not the end of your memory. This is the rebirth. Now close your eyes, breathe deeply, and begin again.